Hey everybody, Michael Bowl here, and today I'm going to talk to you all about artificial intelligence. You may have been hearing a lot about this thanks to a program called ChatGPT, which is one of many that are going to be coming online pretty soon. So we're going to learn how artificial intelligence works and how to use artificial intelligence to your advantage, starting with ChatGPT. Imagine, if you would, a world where a student has a little robot, let's call him RoboBuddy, that hangs out with him or her while they're doing their homework. This is sort of similar to having like a paid tutor or maybe a parent that sits there next to you and will do anything you need them to do at any time you ask a question. For example, a student might ask a question like, I need some story starters. Maybe RoboBuddy will ask some clarifying questions back, and then away that student goes. How is that going to change things? And that's where we should probably address how we're feeling right away. We may have heard a lot about artificial intelligence. We might have heard a lot about ChatGPT specifically, which is really the genesis of getting this course going. But how does that making you feel right now? Is it making you feel like, yes, education is going to change so much and so much for the better? We're going to have these incredibly powerful tools to help us as teachers and to help our students. Or maybe you're thinking, how is this going to change? Like, if students can just look up any answer they want by just asking a question to a robot of some sort, how am I going to have a classroom that's productive and actually encourages them to learn in a way rather than just having them cheat or something like that? Or maybe you're feeling more like me, which is a mixed feeling, like this is really great and wow, this is really going to change education. Is that good? Is that bad? I think we'll probably know more in a few years from now, but right now, maybe many of you are feeling like this. Let's talk about what artificial intelligence is so we have a better understanding of it. Artificial intelligence is the ability of a digital computer or computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings like us. So again, it's kind of like having your own private tutor next to you that's pretty similar to a human. They'll probably look more cute like this guy here and less scary looking like that guy there, because really we want our robots to be friendly looking. Now, is this possible today? Sort of. We can do it a little bit today. Is it going to be possible in the future? Yeah, I'd say absolutely it's going to be possible in the future. And by learning about it now, then we can maybe find it more exciting and more interesting and keep ahead of the curve as we encounter all the changes that are on the horizon. We want to ride that wave in as it's doing great things rather than being on the receiving end of that wave, if you know what I'm talking about. And a lot of this is possible today because of something called, or a company called OpenAI, or Open Artificial Intelligence. You may have heard of that already, but there are other companies coming. There's Google, Baidu, Microsoft, and who knows, by the time you're watching this course, these guys might already have a lot of great platforms ready for you to use. Now, the benefit of this course is that you're learning really how to work with artificial intelligence, whether that's through OpenAI, Google, Baidu, or Microsoft. Probably doesn't really matter. Each group will have their own little idiosyncrasies, but the general concept will be the same. But what got us all going was this one, ChatGPT, and this is something we can use right now. If you're not completely familiar with what ChatGPT is, the obvious thing to do here is to ask ChatGPT that very question. And I asked ChatGPT to explain it in one sentence. The first sentence was a little bit confusing here. It was okay, but I said, hey, let's do it so that a sixth grader could understand it. And that's what I have down here. And it's ChatGPT is a computer program that can understand and talk like a human. It's like having a robot friend who can talk to you and answer your questions. A more simplistic version that we can just use to explain it to perhaps everybody. Now, this would probably give you lots of questions, and maybe that's where we're at. I know that's where I'm at. Like, how's this all going to work? And as I put this together, this course, it certainly helped me understand it more, and hopefully it will help you understand it. The obvious question is, how will it change the teaching profession? Well, let's ask ChatGPT that. And you can see up here, by the way, and you may have noticed this on the other slide, I didn't even capitalize that. Didn't put a period here. ChatGPT doesn't really care about grammar rules so much. It just figures out what you're trying to say, kind of like how we text sometimes and how we use search engines. It'll be the same for ChatGPT. And in fact, probably we'll just end up speaking to ChatGPT or artificial intelligence at some point. Let's just read the first sentence here for this. ChatGPT has the potential to revolutionize education by providing personalized and interactive learning experiences! ! Look at that. ChatGPT thinks that education is going to be awesome because of it. What a surprise. How will it change a student's educational experience? ChatGPT gave me 10 ideas for that. Here's 2 that I highlighted. Number 4, as an interactive tool for review and assessment, where students can ask questions and receive immediate feedback. That is powerful. Look, if you're teaching 30 plus students, you can't really do that so well, but ChatGPT or artificial intelligence can. Or number 7, as a tool for differentiated instruction, where teachers can customize the responses to meet the needs of individual students. So artificial intelligence will help us to do that. Let's hope that it doesn't add some massive workload or burden to our already busy teaching lives, and that's just additional work. So I'm hopeful that it will be something that's sustainable going in the future. And I think at some point it will be. Now, is everything great about it? Well, Grumpy Cat here doesn't think so. There's a whole bunch of reasons here that I asked ChatGPT for the negative side of it. And number 2, let's just highlight that one. The reliance on ChatGPT and education could lead to a lack of critical thinking skills in students as they rely on technology to do the work for them. That makes sense. If I can just ask the robot to do it, where does all my thinking come in? Now, learning how to communicate and interact with a robot does take some critical thinking skills, as we'll see later on in the course. In fact, I have to have an understanding of how sentences work, how paragraphs work, a thesis statement, all that, if I want to have it assist me with some writing. If I didn't have that understanding, I'm not sure that I could have it customize an essay, for example, in the way that I want it to be customized. But anyways, more on that later. ChatGPT currently uses 175 billion parameters, and parameters are values that control the behavior of a system or model, kind of basically what it looks at when it looks at giving an answer to your question. Later on this year, it should shoot to 100 trillion. And it's hard to understand the difference between 175 billion and 100 trillion, but you can see this little tiny dot down there and then the big, huge dot. So that is how much more powerful it's going to be. So if you find ChatGPT or other artificial intelligence systems from some of the other companies, great. They're only going to get better. Now, how are you feeling? Probably mixed feelings if you're feeling like me. But let's get into it. Let's set up your account and start exploring. And that'll give you a feel for what ChatGPT specifically can do and what artificial intelligence overall will do for you now and into the future. Hey, thanks, and we'll see you in the next lesson.